Hey, let's do a quick half hour. I don't have much minutes. I don't have much time. One sec, people. Just need to get the live feed up. Don't have much time, people. Don't have much time. And I need to get to sleep as well. Right. I'll put half an hour on the clock. Half an hour on the clock. Then it's off. Now, what do we have here now? As Tupac said. What do we have here? Big up epic visuals. I'm looking at the rap industry, the hip hop industry. And when I say hip hop, I'm not talking about breakdancing. No. I'm not talking about pop locking. No. I'm not talking about turntablism. No. I'm not talking about graffiti art. No. I'm talking about rap music when it goes through the process of record labels, the fashion that accompanies that, the moguls, the industry. I'm talking about that. And what it's morphed into. You know, it's about yours, my, or you may not have a relationship with God. If you're living a modest life, working 9 to 5 every day, and you're disciplined, if you're frugal with your resources, you don't overeat, you don't drink too much, you might be able to negate your life without a need for God. I'm putting it out there. Now, God probably saying, why have you said that? You might be able to do that. But if you go in these industries, like the film industries, making movies, music, television, any medium of like entertainment, and you don't have God in your life, or if you have God and you neglect him, you're gonna find yourself in some serious crap, man. Because you're dealing with some sick energy, bro. You're dealing with some sick energy. I remember Puff Daddy from being the guy in the Dougie Fresh video, carrying Dougie Fresh's bags. This is when he was at Uptown, an intern. Do I believe Diddy planned to hold freak-offs? And if you listen to the details of these freak-offs, how did you get yourself in this situation? And it's the access to all that excess. It's the access to all that excess And many men have tried to swim amongst all that excess that they may have worked hard for and earned, and it's brought them down. Sex is a very powerful, powerful, powerful life force. Very powerful. You know, like the reproduction organs on male and female are primitive, basically. They're primitive. They're from they're from a different plane from where the developed brains of the human species are right now, which are dealing with divorce laws and marriage prenuptials and spousal entitlement, etc., etc., on all these complex concepts. You know, nowadays they're talking about gender dysmorphia. Right? If you don't have control, not control, but if you don't have like regular prayer, you know what I mean, to guide you and like you read the scriptures and stuff, you're gonna be in trouble, man. And I believe Diddy was a godly person and probably is. But something's happened, man. Something has happened. Why he's worked so hard. Like I say, I remember Diddy from when was that Dougie Fresh video, Busting Loose? That must be maybe late 80s or maybe 1990, maybe about now, but around them times there. Freak out of parties, hiring male prostitutes. When money becomes your god, this is the result, man. This is the result. No matter how much money and power you get, you can't become more powerful than God. And like when I look at the woman involved, Cassie, and no one's like I'm not gonna say, well, you know, there's a lot of people saying she was a willing participant and she this, that, and that. And to a degree, they have a point. They do have a point, but I'm not gonna implicate her like she's just as bad or as complicit in this mess as Diddy. But she's having a baby. Well, a third baby or something like that. Women are sensitive people. How does she make her relationship go through the test of time? How does she get into a marriage that lasts 20 years or stuff when she's done all that freaky crap and it's came out, whether Diddy coerced her or not, or she was a freak herself. Like, no man is going to be able to satisfy that woman. No man. No man is going to be able to satisfy her. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Cassie, Cassie, big up at me. Yeah. What can her husband do to satisfy her if she's been in these freak offs? She's experimented. Like it's like Diddy. You know what I mean? Like whether Diddy's locked up for the rest of his life or he gets off on some legal angle, he'll never be able to have a normal relationship with a woman. Never. 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 And there's something what's happened to there's something that's happened to the modern day rap scene. There's something that's happened to it, man. There's something that that attaches that destruction just attached itself to it. And when I say modern, I'm going back from 90s. You probably even go back from Scotland Rock. Daniel says we can't blame the victim according to modern society, but at what point do you keep going with the freakiness? I mean, it looks like she could say she wanted to please Diddy, but in doing that, she's trying to please herself. And obviously, she's trying to come up herself. Like with that Me Too movement with a lot of the women, like they'll blame these men of power for exploiting the situation. But what do all these women have in common? They want to get in the industry. They want to get all the material trappings that come with that. And when it goes left or they may not achieve their objectives of getting the materialism and the finances they wanted, then they'll always look for the path of least resistance. That's the thing, though, right? These are concubines. That's what they are, right? That's what it is. Basically, concubines. And this is where you, as a man, have to understand, right? If you lead women up that path there, up this path, freak offs, when it all goes wrong, there's no way that either the system or society is going to give the equal amount of burden to the woman. You, as the man, like, have power. You have ultimate power. With power becomes responsibility. The woman is always going to bail out and say, "Hey, he initiated it all. It's because of him. It's because of him. She's innocent. They're always going to do." And you have to be aware of this. Yeah, you have to be aware of this. Women always they'll basically jump ship when it all goes wrong. And that doesn't make them bad people. This is who they are. Women look for the path of least resistance. They basically they don't want to. They want things, but they don't want to take the whole accountability. That's a man's job. That's why men are conscripted to go fight on battlefields, put out fires, stop crime, chivalry. Yeah, this is it. This is what it is. And Diddy knows the game. I mean, like most men who have that type of wealth, they know the game. They know the game. Like Oh man, when I look at the Tory Lanez kid, I just keep thinking every kid who gets in that industry to become the next drill rapper or MC or whatever, they don't know what they're signing themselves into, man. They really don't. They really don't. This has just become an absolute nightmare. Like he's the latest rapper who's become a poster boy for when the atrocities of hip hop just go left. He's just become another. Although he's not dead, but how did he end up there? What was he doing? What was happening with the Gat? Him and the Gat? Was he trying to impress her? A lot of people think Diddy's getting off. Diddy not getting off. Not getting off. Diddy not getting off, man. Diddy not getting off. Yeah, we are gonna all witness the public flogging of this powerful music mogul. We're all gonna witness it. Not getting off. No matter how much he's paid out for legal expertise. Big up Epic Visuals. Big up Jerome Benjamin. Big up Anthony Mackin. Yeah, she was in there pregnant, and like her husband was in there, like Cassie's husband. It's going to be a lot of pressure on him because unless he doesn't look at social media, a lot of men are going to be asking themselves like, "Is this who you laying down with?" But you're having a baby with her, so you're going to have to ride through this period, and it's always going to be there. Diddy is always going to be in his marriage. Yeah, Diddy is always going to be in his marriage. Cassie's relationship with Diddy and whatever else she's done could ultimately be the thing that leaves her husband feeling emasculated. As men, we might try and appease women and tell them that um, we're not looking at their body counts, we're not looking at their sexual past, we're not looking at all this. But you could have the greatest intention and love for that woman, but the peer pressure you're going to get from other males. Yo, that's who you're choosing to wife up and lay down with. This woman who just been ran through, been ran more trains on than London Underground and British Rail. That's who you're laying down with. You're simped out, bro. You know what I mean, like Russell Wilson, he's had to ride out a lot of storms, but he looks happy with that Sierra. They seem to have rode through the storms, and they seem to like keep out of all the crap. Like no mad stories have came out, and they were pretty happy. So a relationship like Cassie's and her husband, this is my opinion. This if God isn't the center point of their marriage, it's going to fall apart because as humans, we're only so strong. We are only so strong. You're getting all that pressure. All these men saying, nah, that's not the one, bro. You know what I mean? You have to go find the next woman. Like a wife up. You know what I mean? Nah. If God isn't gluing together that marriage, you're finished, mate. Tyrone says the worst thing, or maybe not, is that she got a mad payoff. Yeah. She got a crazy payoff. Yeah. Was it 30 mil? Yeah. Still taking the stand. Woo! Anthony said, I've never been married and probably won't because I have married women flirting me at work regularly. How the hell can we live with this shit? Cassie was a crap singer. I saw her live in Miami, 2006, at the Miami Dolphin Stadium. She was garbage. She probably weren't even focused on her craft. She was just looking at ends to a means, and Diddy came along, and she saw her ticket out of poverty. She probably wasn't even focused on being a singer. She probably had no love for the craft or anything like that. That's probably why you went to see her, and she wasn't all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ethereal Dreams. Even Smokey Robinson is being done. Well, his alleged whatever he did was probably, you know what I mean, before I was born, because he's old. He's old. Yeah, they always look for the exit. They always look for the exit. You know what I mean? They're not built to endure the persecution that men regularly have to endure. That's why they will look for the exit. And that's not like me downgrading them. That's what they're supposed to do. I wouldn't expect a woman to you know, go out there and fight for this country before me, or fight for the safety of the people in the household before me. I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't allow the women in my circle to go out and tackle burglars and stuff if I'm there. I'm not going to allow them to do that. Yeah, she got a 30 million payoff. Yeah, still looking to bury him. Muhammad, we really live in a society. Anthony Mack, and loyalty is a character aspect that you must look for in everyone, but is not a strong point for most women. Most men look for. Yeah. Well, he never put a ring on her finger. He's just dealing with this freak off thing. You know what I mean? Like, see, that's the thing. If you marry a woman and you subject her to stuff like what Diddy is subjecting her to, it's gonna come back on you. Yeah, she's gonna come back, and she's gonna like be trying to rip your throat from out your anatomy through the court. Yeah, through the legal system. Yeah. If you're a man of means, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I think it's coming to that point now. Men have to see what the realness and the clarity is of today. Like Can't just do what you want, man. There's got to be like consequences, serious consequences. Diddy's a powerful dude. He's got a whole load of money. If you lead women up these roads and stuff, yes, yes. And see, she probably became more freaky than what Diddy did. This is what I'm saying. Like, what can her one husband do? I know he's a kid with her. I mean, but maybe he's not that interested in sex, so I mean, it might not really affect him. But she's done everything already. She ain't saved nothing for her husband. I don't know, man. Maybe she could spend some of that money on some therapy, man. Maybe. Mr. S, we are normal men who could give you the wickedest stories about things women allow. Multiply that by a few billion, and they would literally move heaven and earth. Daniel said, like he said earlier, a cautionary tale that Tory was messing with Megan. He got himself to a situation with a drunk lady, and it all went downhill. Yeah, you see, when alcohol and drugs are introduced, oh, then you mean then it's serious. Now it's really serious. Mm-mm. Yeah, you introduce the alcohol and drugs, and the drugs they take, like they're not just having a little SPILF. You know what I mean? They're not doing that. They're on all types of madness, bro. They're on all types of ease, um, Molly, and you know what I mean. Wow, it's indulgence. It's indulgence. It's a lot of indulgence, man. That's what the rap industry has become. It's just a lot of indulgence. You know, when you look at it, like the women dying from butt injections to get their AWS is a certain size to be in video and dying for it. Now you've got the BBL thing. These are all byproducts of hip hop, man. And wow, wow. Mm. Muhammad said he was watching this guy named Ali Sadiq talking about stabbing a guy in person, the algorithm of life. Wow. Daniel, he said the story is very shady with Meg getting shot. I remember you saying that before, even before the case finished. I remember Daniel always saying it was shady. I remember Daniel saying that. I didn't really know the details, but Daniel always said it's shady. Tyrone said, I never understood how if these women feel violated, they don't go straight to the feds, but know a round figure they feel they should get due to the violation really baffles me. Tyrone, this is the world, my friend. This is the world. Like, um, even if you go to nature, yeah, when the male black so, I don't know what they call it, but the black widow spider, when the male mates with her, like she's a lot bigger than him. And after he done bust a nut, if he doesn't get out of there, she eats him to sustain the life that he's just put inside of her. That's you know. So when you get married, you gotta know what you're getting married for, who you're getting married to, and you need to know what like you don't have to necessarily be beating people in the head with God every second like me, but you've got to know why you're doing it, what you're doing it for. You really do. And he said, to be honest, Beats, the Diddy case is not something I will be giving my time and energy to watch. I have my own problems to take care of right now. Oh, indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. 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 Diddy's brought this all on himself, Andy. Diddy brought this all on himself, brethren. What have you done, Diddy? Diddy, what have you done? Para Forever says Diddy hasn't been a powerful music mogul for 20 years. He's a puppet for Ciroc. Diddy hasn't been a powerful music mogul for 20 years? Dude. Like, what does that mean exactly? Diddy has major influence in fashion and modern day culture. Anthony Mackin, Diddy is big and bad enough to look after himself. Yes, indeed. I mean, you're saying he's not a powerful music mogul. Look how much attention his case is gathering. Big up Coleman, his headpiece. Yeah, Anthony, you're right. Cassie's husband knows what he's signing up for. She is a millionaire, and so is he, vicariously. Yeah, that's true. Cassie's probably with him because he's a puppet. Yeah, he's probably like more infatuated with her than she is with him. That's what it is. She's probably said, you know the damage. She's probably told him the amount of damage she comes with, and he was like, he didn't care. I mean, he don't care. He don't care. I mean, like, she whipped him with the pee. I mean, she whipped him with that poop gang, bro. I mean, whipped him up proper. I mean, hey, fair play to her. Mr. S. They are crying. They're saying Cassie didn't look good on the stand. I was hearing that with contradicting statements. I was hearing that. But they'll put it down to nerves and you know what I mean. Wasn't prepared. Even if they are not saying it to him, they will be giving him looks and talking behind his back. There's just like his peer group. And look, male peer groups are important. Like you can't just be like bonded up with your wife 24/7. Men have peer groups. He's got to be aware of how it looks to a lot of the males in his peer groups. You know what I mean? Your wife was one of the main. And listen, what you have to realize, yeah, like even with Epstein, yeah, I've gone over the half hour. Maxwell's daughter was complicit in the recruitment. See, like dudes can't recruit women like that. You see, all in these sex trafficking things, there's women in there like recruiting women, and these freak offs or whatnot. It's the likes of, I'm not saying Cassie, but it's women bringing other women in there. They're getting them in there. They're befriending them, young girls. But when it goes wrong, they're like they didn't have a part in it. Yeah, 100%. Like let's put it like this. Yeah, without female participation, you wouldn't get these situations. You wouldn't get these parties. You wouldn't get them. They wouldn't exist. Daddy says the things men will live down for a bit of money. Yeah. Mr. S says Cassie should be given 10 worth of all the female freak-offs at least. How she talking to her mamas for a Sunday dinner with the biggest turkey the store can buy. She just throwing it. Hey, listen, people are prepared to overlook what they need to overlook because somebody's bringing finances that is making all of their lives a little more, you know what I mean, comfortable to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? They're not having to struggle for certain things. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Don't have to worry about the mortgage getting paid, car notes. Ethereal said Smokey was a crack fiend in the late 80s. I don't know. Smokey. Mm-hmm. Ethereal said the modern day woman has been trained to have multiple personalities, which is partly their natural order as well. Oh yeah. Like women are the greatest thespians out there, bro. You know what I mean? Women are the greatest thespians. You know what I mean? I remember when I was young, boy. Remember before I hang out, one little story, man. I dated this chick, and she had a little daughter, young baby, and she gave me the whole story about what happened with the father of the child and this and that. Me being that hot-headed kid I was, I said, right, because she said she couldn't get all of her stuff out of her house. And I drove down to this man's house, could have got myself killed. And he opened the door, and she was there with me. And I'm in there, like, taking stuff out of this man's house, right? And then one of my elders, like, I told him about the story, and like, he's looking at me like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? I said, this dude knows where you live and everything. He could just come and listen. Do you know what you're interfering, right, with two people who have built a life together? And yeah, she did manipulate me, but like you never learn that. It didn't last. It didn't. And like, you have to go through them things, innit? You have to go through them things because how do you think he felt? This dude's coming through the yard, taking out what is the prams and whatever she had in there, and just madness, bro. Clothes, taking all this stuff out of the house, and I think to myself, like, now I'm all, what was I doing? And other situations I've been in, what was I doing? What's that? I mean, it's that poo-tang, bro. It's that poo-tang, bro. Mm. Muhammad, the Rock said he would like to be, said he would like to be Megan's. Okay, she's hot. Mm. And Thera said she must have had some nice snatch beats. Atlee said, exactly, beats. What were you doing? She was just using you in that moment. I wasn't like, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. So yeah, I used to burn a whole load of trees back then as well. You know what I mean? Um, so not an excuse. Not an excuse. I don't smoke no more. But I made a lot of bad decisions when I was young. I made a lot of bad decisions. But that's what that isn't that part of being young is like making bad decisions, isn't it? Yeah, I could have got myself killed. Could have got myself killed. After years of participating, Cassie wants to act innocent. Cassie and Diddy handle the payments and settlements poorly. Now they're in court. What a mess. Wow. Chris Mateus says Cassie is disgusting. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Anthony said, as his dad told him, if you want to get married just for sex, you might as well stay single. My dad has been married and divorced twice. Wow. Mm. That's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Anthony said Cassie's still in her, texting her boyfriends and a man on the side whilst being married. Most of these married women have their side men who they play with, and sometimes the husbands know too. Wow. She's been ran through too, like not it's not that it's not that she's been ran through too much. It's like it's public knowledge as well. You know what I mean? Like a lot of women's have history, but if they manage to keep it a secret, keep it buried, it's not too bad. But this is public information, man, and there's going to be more that comes out about well, if that's possible. Chuckle Shadrach said, "You were young, Beats. We live and learn." Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he says every young man will at some point get involved in saving a 304. It's very true. It's very true. And listen, she was a great girlfriend, you know. I'm not here to like bun fire on her because I didn't like. Um, we were still on and off. We were still on and off after that, but you know, you have to be a bit cautious. She was a good girlfriend in terms of having a good time, and that's why people date is to have a good time. You know what I mean, wow, Muhammad, you could have been a Tyson Fury fan. Isn't that bad? Tyson Fury, Mr. S. One man cannot satisfy her. She needs more wood for the fire. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Very difficult for one man to do the job. Very difficult. Wow. Mm. I tell you what, people, man, I wish I could stay long. I just don't have the minutes, man. Don't have the minutes. I still have to sort out another screen provider. I'm gonna do some boxing this weekend. We got Dave Allen and Johnny Fisher. Who's going to win that? Who's going to win before I jump off? Yeah, man. I don't know, man. The world seemed to think that they can put all their lust, all the materialism that they can collect before integrity, and it's not going to work out. It sounds old fashioned, but it's up to elder people to tell younger people it's not going to work out for you. It's not going to work out. whatever your religion is, Christianity, Islam, Hindu, whatever it is, whatever it is, you can't put materialism before integrity, before common sense, before discipline, before God. Can't. Cassie and her husband probably have a bull in their bedroom, pleasing them both. The only reasons you should be married as a westernized man is for religious sect or significant cultural reasons. Other than that, you have to seriously ask yourself, what are you doing it for? Yes, indeed. Well, depends, man. Like if you find the right woman, then you do what you gotta do. If you find the right woman, there's they're still out there. Like we have to always keep in mind, like when we're dealing with these industry stories, they're exactly that. It's not the norm. That's why these stories become titillation. That's why I'm gossiping about it now. It's not the norm. It really isn't the norm. I ain't never been in no freak off. You know what I mean? It's the norm for the industry, but it's not the norm for the population. I think for younger women though, I think it's becoming increasingly difficult for them to look at men who they want to settle down with for the rest of their life or for long periods of their life. I do believe that. I do believe like young women have become very impressionable to the narratives out there. Oh, he's got to be 6'10", and the 10. I mean, the 10 inches has to be 10 inches of wood. You know what I mean? He needs to make £1 million a year. Who makes £1 million a year? Who makes 100 grand a year? You're talking like low percentages of men have all these things that women think are normal now, or have an expectation for. Yeah. Mr. S says marriage always seemed overrated. Um, I don't think marriage is overrated. I don't think it is. I think marriage has been it's been it needs it needs a makeover job. That's what it is. It needs a makeover. It's not it's not a proposition that most young men are looking at with any enthusiasm. They're looking at it like what's all the negatives before they're looking at the positives. Big up Guzzy. Anthony, you got your money on Johnny? Yeah, I think Johnny on points and perhaps Dave by stoppage. But it wouldn't be shot me if Dave broke him up there, you know. It wouldn't shot me. Mohammed, I feel like I'm in a sunken place, Beats. I need guidance. Well, you need to go out and seek the guidance. That's what you need to do. Um, go out and seek the guidance. Don't procrastinate. Do what you got to do. think men could date upbeats like a girl with a higher status? No, generally no. Mm-mm. The hypergamy thing is for ladies, really. Um, Women don't like carrying men, or they're not made to do that. They're not made to do that. And why would they? Why would they? I wouldn't expect no woman to carry a dude and be happy about it. I wouldn't expect that. And I don't think most men wouldn't expect that. Guzzy's got Dave on points, maybe a late stoppage. That's interesting. Social media killing marriages in this century, said Shadrach. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's like it's just done a hatchet job in marriage. Social media. You know what I mean? You like if you wanna be in the shout of getting a wife, Muhammad, you mean like you got to start getting your paper up, man. And like that's not a new thing. You got to start getting your money up, man. I mean, like you can't have a woman there and she's not in the throes of being upwardly mobile for being with you. Then it's not a good proposition for her. It just isn't. It just isn't. And she's going to make you miserable, and you're going to be miserable as well. Mr. S, it's a financial commitment with a lack of reward. Most married men are getting rations from their wives. Oh dear. Anthony said, from his personal experience, I don't know any married man who hasn't slept with other women whilst married. And from personal experience, I get most attention from married women than single men. Whoa. From married men from single women. Oh, yeah. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Oh, married women, like, they'll flirt like crazy, isn't it? You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Which is crazy. But yeah, that is true. That is true. But it all depends. Like either party, husband or wife, if they're gonna participate in extracurricular affairs, you gotta be discreet, man. You gotta be like you gotta be discreet. You gotta be discreet. You know, Diddy. I don't know what was up with Diddy and his freak offs. It's just like flipping. You're a nutter. Mr. S. He said, I dated a millionaire. My brethren did too. Wow. Anthony said, if he was a roughneck and hardcore man rather than a gentleman, I'm sure that I would have had affairs with married women. Mm-mm. Well, no, it's not just roughnecks and hardcore dudes having affairs. That any gentlemen have. Well, Mr. S said it was a little emasculating. I had a situation like that actually. You know what I mean? Like, my stories. When I was young, I dated a woman who was older, and she ran her own business, and she used to do some weird shit. Like we'd have relations and all that, and like she'd bail out. She'd bail out, and like sometimes she'd leave money there for me, which was weird. And because it's a woman doing it, you do feel. But I said, yo, you leave money there. I don't mind you leave money there. I remember one time I cooked some food in the house. So she came there, then blah blah, done what we did, and then she took up the containers in my kitchen. I was going to eat some food, and she put a whole load of the food in the containers, and then put down some money. A whole lot, maybe how much was it? About 30 quid or something. And took the food and said, yeah, I've got to go. Madness. But you know what I mean? Like you say, when you're a young dude, man, you go through some mad stuff. Yeah. Businesswoman. She's passed away actually. That's how old I am. Oh boy, exes have passed away and shit. Yeah. And he said the most married people I know are hypocrites. They are playing, keeping up appearances, pretending to the world that they're in love and everything is rosy. Well, a lot of times that's done to keep the household together because they may have kids. And like you say, it's keeping up appearances, isn't it? Yeah, it is keeping up appearances. Jazz Funk's a single life. Mm. Wow. Yeah. I remember. I remember it very well now. It's upwardly mobile Nubian queen. It's crazy, man. She had money though, bro. Not like her a millionaire, but she had some money. She did. She had her BMW. She had a wicked whip, bro. She had a serious car. The BMW she had her own property and stuff, which I never saw. I know she had her own business. Mm, well, where we at? Yeah, yeah. It is keeping up appearances, like you say, Annie. Like you say, it is keeping up appearances. That is the whole point of marriage as well, though. Like marriage isn't like. See, the thing is, people. Oh, you need to be in love and love. If you're in love, yeah, marriage. I mean, you don't need to get. If you're in love, you don't really need to get married. If it's genuine love between you and the other person, you'll just be together, no matter what, because you can't bear to be separated from your partner. So marriage marriage these days, it is an arrangement. It's a gathering of convenience to a degree. Jazz Funk says single life. What was that cameo song? Single life. Everything I think you do makes me smile. I've loved that. I've got them songs, man. Single life. That was my joint, bro. Guzzy, has Dave found some form near the end of his career. Quite a few people in boxing say on this day Dave has skills. Dave has shown his limitations, you know what I mean? We know who Dave is. We know who Dave is, you know what I mean? Dave is a guy who doesn't train particularly hard. Um, it all depends how limited Johnny is. Say, like, can Johnny make adjustments and get his career back on track? Because if he loses on Saturday, where is there to go? If he doesn't have to retire, but if you can't get past Dave Adam, I mean, you might be able to put a few numbers in the copper box, but where's it really going? Where's it going? Looking forward to it though. Pancho Villa. I worked in tourism, and European women and men were very open to sharing their spouse. Oh wow, deep, bro. That is deep. Hey, listen, gotta get out of there, man. I mean, I would have stayed on, but gotta get out.